Hi everyone, it's Peg, pardon me, and I am here this month for Stencil Girl Voices. If you don't know about Stencil Girl and Stencil Girl Voices, they have a monthly club for stencils, and you can check out Stencil Girl to find out information about that. But these are the monthly stencils for June, and there are 3 involved here, and I'm just going to have a play with them. I have a wooden substrate. Put some gesso on, and I'm just using some Deco Art media paints. I love how you can cover a large area with these paints and blend beautifully. So I'm picking colors that are going to work together. I have cobalt turquoise hue, phthalo green yellow, a little blue green light, some phthalo green blue, and some cobalt teal hue that I'm going to use in addition to a little bit of Hansa yellow medium, and let me think, what other colors did I use on this particular project? I used some vermilion and some quinacridone magenta and a little bit of burnt sienna and burnt umber. So, oh yes, and green gold. Got to have some green gold in there. And dairy-lied yellow. So, yes, I used quite a few different colors, but as you see, I put them out on my plate and blend with them. I'm just using the first stencil to put a layer of texture into the background, and, you know, applying a little bit of color around the edge to deepen that and bring the eye in towards the middle or focal area of this canvas. I've wrapped the outer edge with some masking tape just to keep the paint out of that area. Now there are 3 sets in the Stencil Girl Club, excuse me, not 3 sets, 3 stencils that you get in the club. You get a big 9x12 and a 6x6 and smaller one. I'm not sure if it's a 4x4 or what, but each one of the stencils this month has really cool designs on it. This one in particular is the 6x6, which I'm using in the background first, and then I'm going to go to the big one because the big one has multiple designs on it, and I really like that it has such variety on one stencil. So I'm just going to put another layer of paint over the top of that stenciled area because I don't want it to stand out quite as much as it is currently. I'm just going to blend a little bit of watered down gesso and paint over the top of my page and push that back. And then I'll go to that big stencil, and I want to put some flowers on here. I'm feeling spring. Can you tell I'm feeling spring? And so I'm just going to mop any excess off of there and seal this surface down with a coat of some gloss finish. I think this is Deco Page finish that I'm putting over this now, just to seal that in before I put my next layer on. And I'm, you know, can you see all those different choices I have there? I'm really liking these florals, and I want to get some molding paste and just push some molding paste through this stencil and get a little bit of dimension onto my canvas. And I will end up painting on top of that, but you know, you can use the sections of this particular stencil any way you want to because there's a lot to choose from. So I've got those 3 flowers down there, and then I have these smaller flowers, and I thought, well, I'll continue that line up the edge of my canvas here. Canvas board, I should say. It's a board. It's not canvas, it's a board. And then I'll, you know, because I like a solid surface. If I'm going to be putting something like this down, I like a solid surface to work on. So I'm going to dry that, and then I'll come back and move on to the next step. You know, I don't worry much about paint and things on my stencils, but I do have to clean things like molding paste off because they will ruin your stencil. So make sure that you get that taken care of right away. And now I'm going back to painting. I'm just, you know, now that this molding paste is dry, and I took a heat tool and just dried it quickly because I wanted to keep on moving, I am side loading a brush with the blue and white paint and just putting the petals in on these flowers. I wanted to create depth, and the way you do that is just dip one side in one color and the other side in the other color, and then as you paint you get this variegated coloration to your paint stroke. So those smaller flowers is what I'm doing, and I'm using the cobalt teal hue and some white just to lay that color into the background on those particular flowers. Next, I'm moving on to the leaves. I'm using the green gold on one side, and then I'll add a little bit of the, let me think, which one is that? That is the phthalo green blue, and the there's another green I used. Anyway, you get the idea. You can pick your colors and blend them just to get the variation on your leaves. And once I complete laying in color onto the leaves, yes, I think that was the cobalt turquoise hue, I will come back with some of those additional colors and paint the petals on the larger flowers. So I hope you check out Stencil Club and StencilGirl. StencilGirl has a lot of stencils that are not part of the Stencil Club that you can just buy on their website, and they offer a deal. You know, if you buy, I think 6 of the same size, you get a free one. And, you know, there's some perks, so go check them out. And there's a lot of artists. Some of my favorites are designing for StencilGirl. So, Stencil Club itself is a monthly club, and you can sign up for it for the months that you want. You know, you don't have to take it every month. If there's a specific month or a designer or something that you want to get, you can purchase it for however long you want, and then, you know, you can go back and use a discount code from Stencil Club and pick stencils that were offered from the club in those previous months that you weren't able to get before. So that's another perk of being a member of the club, that you can get stencils that are exclusive to the club, plus all the exclusive content. They give the designers exclusive content for each month, so you get video and information, PDFs and stuff from the designer. So check it out, because I think it's well worth it. You know, if you're a stencil lover like I am, you're going to want these stencils. I'm telling you, they are awesome. I just can't get enough. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing that I did on the blue flowers. I'm doing a side load with the white and the vermilion, and I will mix a little bit of the quinacridone magenta into that, and I will also use Stabilo All in a brown color to do some shadowing underneath the flowers, and I will add a quote to this I have a brush pen. It's a Japanese brush pen. Actually, I have two different ones. And I can't tell you specifically. I don't know that there's a name on this. I think there might be a name. It says it comes from Japan. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description box because everything on here is written in Japanese. And I don't happen to read Japanese, but I know I got them off of Amazon, and you could use just about any. I mean, you could use a brush in black paint if you wanted to. I just like that this is a permanent ink that is in a brush form, and it flows readily, and I can do my lettering with that. So, yeah, I'll just continue to paint and show you what I create. I do, while I'm waiting for things to dry and figuring out what I'm going to do, I do play with a couple of pieces of chipboard, or what do they call this stuff? This is a art square from Perfect Zentangle. Art squares from Inchy Arts. And it's inchyarts.com. I think it was a sample that somebody sent me or gave me. And I'm just going to use up some of those paints that I've got out already and, paint these squares, because I think these are 3-inch precision cut squares. And, I'll probably end up using them on another project. But I want to continue playing with these stencils. So I have this orange color, and I'm just going to stencil that onto one of these squares, and then pick up another square and some more colors, and go back. Let's see. Looks like I'm going to go back to my green-blue plate here and play with that one. And you'll see what I do. I decide I want to do a little bit of doodling and stuff onto these. Just having a play, just making some art squares, because I've got extra paint, and why not? I've got new stencils to play with, right? So that's what I'm doing, is just having a good play. So we'll fast forward a little bit ahead, and I'll just show you a little bit of my doodling onto the stencil. You can just use whatever pens you have. I'm using a Signo Uniball white and yeah, a black pen. And that's about it. So now I'm just going to start penciling in my quote. I wanted to have some direction about where I was going with this. I'm freehanding, and things don't always go the way you want them to when you freehand. So the thought that came to mind with this particular painting is, a flower blooms for its own joy. I'm feeling joyful today, so yeah, let's put it on the canvas, on the board here. So you can see I have my brush pen, and I'm just doing the lettering on here. I will come back with my white and do a little bit more and sign off on this thing. And I hope you enjoyed this little process video of how I used my brand new stencils. And be sure and check out StencilGirl. If you're new to my channel, be sure and give me a thumbs up, and like, share, comment, all of the things. Hit the little bell below so that you get further notification. And the very last thing that I did was I coated the whole thing with a coat of Gloss Brilliant glue sealer finish from Americana Deco Page. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.